Hey guys, this is my first video of the year, so Happy New Year. Welcome back. Today I have a Belgian coming-of-age drama called Close. It was released earlier last year and it was directed by this person. I won't butcher their name. This one follows the friendship of two young boys, Leo and Remi. They spend countless hours together, playing, talking, and enjoying each other's company. They're the best of friends, but they're at this age where they're on the cusp of being teenagers. Even so, they maintain affection just like two little brothers. They even share the same bed during sleepovers. When the new school year begins, their friendship is called into question by their peers. The students notice how affectionate they are with each other, so they're asked if they're a couple. One day, Leo is shoved and taunted by two classmates who call him a gay slur, and that's when he decides that this cannot continue. He'll have to distance himself from Remi. It's gonna be a very gradual withdrawal from the friendship. During a sleepover, he moves to another bed, and in the morning when confronted, he roughhouses with Remi and makes him cry. Remi doesn't understand what's gotten into his best friend. When he questions him at school, Leo is evasive. They would typically ride their bikes together to and from school, but things come to a head when Remi is ditched. He confronts Leo but is given the same excuses, so they end up getting into a scuffle, and this is the moment when they realize that their friendship will never be the same. So this was a pretty good movie, but there are times when things feel a little too cliche and sappy, but I think the themes it covers make it worth watching. I'm not referring to the plot as sappy, I'm talking about certain stylistic choices. This is an A24 movie and it shows. There's nothing wrong with that, but you probably already know what I mean if you watched enough of their films. It just has that kind of vibe. I guess my only real complaint is that I wish there had been more progression in the story. I feel like there's so much that could have been explored. I enjoyed seeing this type of story through the lens of male characters because I remember being a middle schooler and feeling like I had to change because I didn't want to be picked on. Like, I stopped, or I pretended to stop liking certain things, and yeah, I just acted in a different way. And so I felt a lot of empathy for Leo in spite of what happened. It's like I said in my last video, I'll never know what it's like to be a guy. And I feel like life is much easier for me in certain respects, but obviously the reverse is also true. I'm not making this a competition about who has it harder. You really can't quantify that. I'm just bringing this up because this movie left me with a lot to think about. I was a sensitive kid, but I don't think I was picked on for that. I mean, that's what's expected from girls, you know? But what about all the sensitive young boys who get bullied because they're deemed weird? If a boy is sensitive, how does he balance what's appropriate and what comes naturally to him? For instance, there's a scene where Remi's performing at a recital and it moves Leo so much that he's on the verge of tears. Oh my god, it was the cutest thing ever. So yeah, that's also why it struck me how quickly Leo adapted to life without his best friend. He went from being a very demonstrative kid to stoic, very stoic, overnight basically, and he didn't give his friend an explanation. Now, I have my theories, but I don't want to bring them up because this is a spoiler-free video and his behavior appears cruel, but there's more than meets the eye, and it was definitely alluded to. It's a very bittersweet movie and I do recommend it. The ending is abrupt, but I would say that this movie is realistic. I'm sure you've had a few friendships that have ended abruptly, so Sometimes self-preservation doesn't let us process things in ways that are expected, and I'm certain that was the case with Leo. His behavior's very odd. But you know, kids really don't have the presence of mind to resolve issues in the best ways, and that's basically what happens here. This movie also reminded me how hard it is to raise a child, because like there's so much you want to teach them and protect them from, but they have their own little worlds and you might not know about them. It's crazy. I don't see myself rewatching this because it didn't have the momentum I was expecting, and certain characters were two-dimensional when they shouldn't have been, but you'll see what I mean if you check this out. So yeah, I hope my review has piqued your interest and or relaxed you. I've made a conscious effort to try to speak a little slower because that's the point of ASMR, and I haven't really been doing that, so sorry. Okay, until next time.